Hello, everyone. I want to share something that I believe is profoundly important, something that many people don't fully grasp until they've been worn down by life's trials. Your energy is finite, your time is limited, and if you're not intentional about where you invest these precious resources, you may find yourself drained, resentful, and confused about why life hasn't unfolded the way you hoped. There are places in this world where you do not need to be, and there are certain homes you should never enter, no matter how much time you think you have. Some may argue that this mindset is closed off, that one should be forgiving, that people change. And while forgiveness is valuable, it is naive to assume that everyone who welcomes you back into their space does so with good intentions. The truth is, some people don't change. Some people want you around for all the wrong reasons. If you are not vigilant, you will find yourself in situations you should have avoided, and it will be your own doing. The first home you should never revisit is the home of those who have betrayed you. And I don't mean minor disagreements or misunderstandings. I mean the kind of people who have fundamentally shown they are willing to undermine you for their own gain. People who have manipulated situations, twisted your reality, and used your trust against you. You know who these people are. We all do. And yet when they reach out saying, "Let's talk, let's catch up," a part of you wants to believe they have changed. Or maybe you think, "I'm stronger now, I can handle this." But what happens? The same thing that happened before, just in a slightly different way. Because here's the truth, people don't change easily. Character is deeply ingrained. So why are you going back out of guilt, seeking closure, hoping for a different outcome? That's foolish. That's playing with fire. And when you get burned, you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Some will argue that forgiveness is virtuous. And yes, forgiveness is essential, but it must be properly understood. Forgiveness does not mean walking back into the lion's den. It means releasing resentment so it does not poison you. It does not mean willingly placing yourself back into harm's way. Additionally, when you allow someone who betrayed you back into your life, you teach them that their actions have no real consequences. You reward their behavior, and what happens when bad behavior is rewarded? It repeats, it escalates, and it's not just you who suffers. You reinforce this cycle, enabling them to betray others as well. If someone has profoundly betrayed you, do not enter their home. Do not entertain their invitations. Do not be drawn back in, not out of bitterness, but out of wisdom. Some doors, once closed, should stay closed. The second home you should never visit is the home of someone who only remembers you when they need something. This is trickier because these people may not be malicious, but they are users. And that's a hard truth to swallow, especially when these people were once considered friends. You know the type. They disappear when things are going well for them, but as soon as they hit a rough patch, when they need advice, money, a favor, suddenly they reach out. "Oh, I've been meaning to call. I've just been so busy. How have you been?" And before long, the real reason for their call becomes evident. They need something. Helping people is not inherently wrong, but you must ask yourself, is this a relationship or a transaction? True relationships involve mutual care, effort, and investment, but some people see you only as a resource, something to tap into when convenient. If you let them, they will drain you dry. So pay attention. Who reaches out when they don't need anything? Who celebrates your success without expecting anything in return? Those people are rare and they are worth keeping close. But the ones who only remember you in their moments of need, those people do not deserve your time, your energy, or your presence. You may wonder, isn't it cruel to turn someone away when they're struggling? Of course, we should help when we can, when it is appropriate. But you are not obligated to be someone's safety net simply because they neglected to build one for themselves. If you allow yourself to be used as an emergency contact but never as a priority, you send a message, "I will accept this treatment." And that's a dangerous precedent to set. Here's something else to consider. There are environments you should never enter, not just for your well-being, but for the sake of your future. You do not walk into a toxic space and come out unchanged. The energy of a room, the mindset of a group, it all seeps into you whether you realize it or not. Spend too much time among the bitter, the resentful, the envious, and their negativity will become your own. People assume they can surround themselves with toxic individuals and remain unaffected. That is a dangerous illusion. No one is that strong. Your surroundings shape you more than you realize. This is why successful people surround themselves with discipline, intellect, and ambition, because they understand that environment is everything. If you continuously expose yourself to those who blame the world for their failures, you will absorb that mindset. If you surround yourself with those who gossip and tear others down, you will find yourself speaking the same way. Negativity is a disease. It spreads, infects, corrodes. And one day, without realizing it, you will have become the very thing you once despised. So ask yourself, are you stepping into places that elevate you or places that drain you? Are you visiting homes where you are celebrated or homes where you are merely tolerated? Some environments should be left behind, not out of arrogance but out of self-preservation. Growth is not just about what you gain, but what you let go of. And sometimes the hardest thing to leave behind is the comfort of familiarity, even when that familiarity is what's been holding you back. Not every house is a home. Not every invitation deserves an acceptance. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply say, I'm not going back.